Hello, my beautiful people, my dragonflies. My name is Jai, if you do not know, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to spooky season. Welcome to another video actually that I found on my feed page, and this is 3 Scary True Airbnb Horror Stories, Volume 1, and this is from Creeporama. Yeah, so I found it and that I just watch, and yeah.
The sun had already dipped below the horizon by the time I arrived at the property. The pictures on the Airbnb listing had done it justice. A quaint two-story house with faded white paint and an inviting porch. The garden, slightly overgrown, hinted at the place being well lived. A soft glow from the windows promised warmth and comfort within. After a long journey, I was eager to settle in. I found the key in a small lockbox by the door, just as the host had described. It felt like a simple transaction, no need for human interaction in our age of technology. The house was immaculate inside, a modern kitchen to my left, a cozy living room straight ahead, and a wooden staircase leading to the bedrooms above. There was a note on the dining table, written in neat cursive. "Make yourself at home. Enjoy your stay." I remember smiling, appreciating the touch of humanity in such a digital transaction. That first night, I felt a peace I hadn't felt in months. Wrapped in the gentle embrace of the sheets in one of the upstairs bedrooms, sleep came quickly. But it was a noise downstairs that jolted me awake. A soft thud, like a book falling off a shelf. My heart raced, but I assured myself it was the usual noises of an old house. Still, to quell my nerves, I tiptoed to the door, listening intently. There it was again. Whispers. I wasn't alone. Holding my breath, I peered through the tiny gap in the door. The dim light from the street lamps outside painted ghostly shadows on the walls. But the sight that met my eyes was more terrifying than any ghost. 2 figures, a man and a woman, were quietly moving in the living room below. They acted like they belonged, speaking in hushed voices and laughing softly. Panic set in. The reasonable part of my mind tried to reason. Perhaps they were friends of the host? Maybe they had a right to be here? But something felt off.
Call the police.
Their movements seemed too intimate, too familiar. They weren't guests. They were at home. I retreated from the door, carefully locking it behind me. My phone. I needed to call the police. But as I fumbled in the dark, a chilling realization hit me. I'd left it charging downstairs. My only hope was the landline in the hallway, but that meant confronting the intruders. But then, another thought. What if they weren't intruders at all? I quickly turned on the room's lamp and booted up my laptop, logging into the Airbnb website. Scrolling through my bookings, my heart dropped. The profile of the host, the messages we'd exchanged, the pictures of the house. They were gone. The listing was a mirage. I was in a stranger's home.
Wait, what?
Every creak of the wood, every whisper I heard, amplified my terror. Were they burglars, or something worse? Minutes felt like hours.
I'm confused.
I was paralyzed, debating my next move. I decided to attempt an escape. With bated breath, I opened the window, realizing it was a straight drop to the hard ground below. My only chance was to climb onto the roof and find a safer way down. As I clambered out, the cold air biting my skin, I thought I had gone unnoticed. That was until a light turned on in the room adjacent to mine. The curtain shifted, and a pair of eyes locked onto mine. The woman's scream pierced the night, a chilling, high-pitched note of surprise and horror. The man's voice boomed, "Who are you? What are you doing in our house?" My heart hammered in my chest, my panic overriding every rational thought. The roof tiles were slippery underfoot, but fear propelled me forward, searching desperately for an escape.
But I'm confused. If it's our house,
suddenly a voice from the street below called out, "Hey, is everything okay up there?" I peered over the edge. A police car sat outside, its blue lights painting the scene in stark, contrasting shades. Relief washed over me. But my ordeal wasn't over. The couple was now on the roof too, approaching me with anger and confusion etched across their faces. I screamed, begging the police to help, to understand the terrible mistake I'd made. The officers quickly intervened, diffusing the situation. It took hours to unravel the confusion, to understand that I was as much a victim as the bewildered couple whose home I'd unknowingly invaded. It turned out that I wasn't the first to fall for this scam. A fake host, using pictures of homes from real estate listings, luring unsuspecting travelers, then disappearing into the digital abyss. The real homeowners had been away for the weekend and had no idea their home was listed online. As dawn broke, I realized how fragile our trust in technology is, and how easily the lines between reality and the digital realm can blur, casting shadows where we least expect.
I got scammed.
With the police mediating, the couple's anger transformed into sympathy. They too were horrified by the audacity of the scam. They had heard of online fraud, sure, but to have their very home, their sanctuary, used as bait was a violation they hadn't imagined. To help with their investigation, the police requested surveillance footage from nearby homes. And it was during this process that another layer of horror unveiled itself. The fake host had been watching.
Oh.
A camera, discreetly positioned across the street, captured me as I approached and entered the house. The feed was live-streamed, the police discovered, to an unknown audience who reveled in my unwitting invasion and the ensuing drama. As the morning light grew stronger, we stood together in shared disbelief, victims of a digital world that both connected and deceived us. This harrowing night had intertwined our paths, reminding us that behind the screens and algorithms, there are real homes, real lives, and real consequences.
And you're doing this for
While
what?
I may never truly shed the weight of that night's terror, it now serves as a beacon of caution in my digital journey, urging me to seek authenticity and truth in an increasingly virtual world.
Person, because I was very confused. Why was the real homeowners like whispering in their own home in the dark? You know, if they knew there was only one there. Scammers.
I've always been an ardent fan of Airbnb. It's not just about the affordability, but the unique experiences each property offers. When I stumbled upon a listing of a rustic cabin nestled deep in the woods, I was instantly sold. The reviews were stellar, with previous guests raving about the tranquility and beauty of the location. There was one peculiar review, though, a one-liner that read, "The nights are unforgettable." I smirked, thinking it referred to the starry skies or nocturnal sounds of the forest. Upon arrival, the cabin looked exactly like the pictures, quaint, surrounded by towering trees, with a porch overlooking a serene pond. My plan was simple: unwind for the week, far from the hustle of city life. The first day went splendidly, but that night, things took a strange turn. I awoke to find myself on the porch, the early morning dew soaking through my pajamas, my blanket draped over me. Confused, I tried recounting how I got there but drew a blank. The following evening, before bed, I double-checked the locks. Yet, history repeated itself. I woke up outside again, but this time, closer to the woods. Disturbed, I decided to scour the Airbnb reviews again, looking for any clues. Multiple guests mentioned how restful their sleep was, but a few reported odd dreams of wandering the woods. I decided to set up my phone to record video, hoping to catch any odd activity during the night. The next morning, the footage showed me, at around 2 a.m., unlocking the door and walking out in an almost trance-like state, being drawn towards the woods. What was pulling me? Determined to find answers, I resolved to stay awake the next night. As hours ticked by, around the same time, a soft, melodic hum wafted from the woods. It had an uncanny pull. I found myself at the edge of the woods, almost being drawn in when something on the ground caught my eye, a small metallic object. Picking it up, it turned out to be a locket. Inside was a faded picture of the cabin, with a note that read, "Stay out of the woods." Suddenly, everything became clear. This wasn't just about a cabin in the woods. It was about its proximity to something within those woods. The humming ceased, but the chilling realization hit me. Whatever resided in those woods had been luring guests for who knows how long. The weight of the locket felt significant in my hand, its aged metal cold to the touch. The urgency of the note was evident, but it posed more questions than answers. Who had left this locket? And why were they warning guests about the woods? Determined to get to the bottom of this mystery, I decided to message the Airbnb host. I carefully drafted a message, inquiring about any known history of the property or any incidents involving previous guests. Hours went by without a reply. The silence of the cabin felt more pronounced, the woods outside seeming to press closer with their dark canopies. The hum, which had stopped upon finding the locket, was absent, heightening my sense of dread. Finally, late in the afternoon, my phone buzzed with a notification.
Leave some pearl
It was
on
the
myself.